What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Guna channel on a night where Manchester City beat Inter Milan 1-0 to become only the second English team to win the historic treble. A team of artists, a team of warriors, but above all, a team of winners who've finally silenced the mealy-mouthed critics who have been using the fact that they've not won the Champions League to denigrate their absolute dominance of the domestic game. This now elevates them to the same level as the Manchester United who won the treble. As an Arsenal fan, I can only imagine how fantastic this must feel for those Man City fans. Fans, let's face it, who have had to endure far more than most fans have had to. It's 20 years. It's been one hell of a journey from the lower leagues all the way up to the very elite, the pinnacle of European football. And it was exactly what you'd expect from a final. The first 20 or 30 minutes, there was real anxiety in the air. You could see that Manchester City were under the pressure of the spotlight. They lost Kevin De Bruyne to a snapped hamstring within 30 minutes. And though it looked like he was going to try and play on, you just can't. And seeing him come off just made you feel that this might not be the day. They almost went a goal behind to a mix-up between Akanji and Ederson. Inter Milan did a fantastic job of pressing everywhere. And for me, the first half, it almost felt like, although I didn't think it was intentional, it almost felt like this was going to be a rope-a-dope. That there was no way that Inter Milan could keep up this kind of pressure. But you have to give it to them. They really made this into a contest. And the deciding goal, absolutely a thing of beauty. Reminded me somewhat of Eric Cantona's goal against Liverpool for Manchester United in the FA Cup. Akanji on a rare burst forward with a ball that Silva cut back. Rodri absolutely burst the net with a beautifully placed shot. And from that point on, well, look, when it comes to being ahead, there are very few teams I've ever seen who are better at holding on to a lead. But that said, right at the death, fantastic 2 saves from Ederson to keep it 1-0. And, well, really, Inter Milan threw everything in the kitchen sink at it. Lukaku squandered a chance at the end. There was some profligacy. I think in football we're often too guilty of looking at this, and there was a lot of talk and a lot of players were asked about the future, and I don't think this is a night for the future. There'll be decades to discuss this achievement, and it will be discussed for decades. There'll be decades to reminisce on just how strong this team was, and particularly since the World Cup. As an Arsenal fan, it was a fantastic season for us, and pretty much since that defeat to Nottingham Forest, I've wanted Man City to go on and beat Man United in the FA Cup final and Inter Milan in the final. I've wanted to see another treble. I've wanted to see this team of superstars achieve what they have worked so hard to achieve. Pep Guardiola has a team that will walk through walls for him. They have a solidarity about them. Kyle Walker, apparently, disappointed not to be picked in the starting 11, gave a speech to the players beforehand and told them, "You have my dreams in your hands," as if they needed extra pressure. Erling Haaland in his first season winning the treble, he must just think it's as easy as this. Jack Grealish, a player transformed from last season, he spoke about how even though he hadn't played well last season, Pep Guardiola stood by him. Gundogan, a captain's performance, if not spectacular, but still seeing him lift that trophy and people speculating whether he knows where he's going to be. Like I said, tonight is not a night to think about tomorrow. Tonight is not a night to think about whether they can do it again next season. Few players ever win this tournament. I know that they're going to celebrate like crazy. I can only imagine what tonight feels like for a Man City fan. Arsenal fans, we can only dream of this. But while we're dreaming, we also have to change our mindset a little bit and look at this as the standard. This is what we have to look to emulate. As ridiculous as that sounds, you have to go into it. Cesc Fabregas was talking about when he joined Barcelona and they just won the Champions League. And he he even brought this up with Pep Guardiola in his interview, and he said, when I joined, Pep Guardiola said to me, it doesn't matter what's gone before, we start from zero all the time. That this Man City team is so full of talent, but there are question marks around who may still be there. Does Gundogan now stay on, or is this a perfect time to leave? Kyle Walker, he's been challenged by Pep, he's been left out of the final. Bernardo Silva, a lot's been made of him leaving. If we're looking to the future, it's too easy to say this team is so good they will sweep all before them. It's too easy to talk about how no one's close to these players. It is the job of Arsenal and Man United and Liverpool and all the other teams in contention next season to look to how they've done this. And the key here is not just skill and flair and trickery. It's digging deep. It's digging deep when your legs are tired and heavy through anxiety. And we saw that in the first half, there's no question about it. Some of the players even talked about it. Rodri himself, the architect of this victory with that fantastic goal, spoke about at half-time how he felt that he hadn't played well enough. Pep Guardiola's team talk at half-time apparently was comparing it to the final they played against Chelsea, where they were 1-0 down at half-time. This was progress. How you progress from here, I don't know. Perhaps they will win another treble next season. Like I keep saying, this is not a night to think about the future. It is a night. I am jealous. There is a tinge of jealousy. There's no doubt about that. But I am thrilled to have seen what is now unquestionably one of the greatest sides in European footballing history. To stand alongside the great Bayern sides, the great Real Madrid sides, even the great Inter sides, and most importantly, the great Manchester United side of '99. I want to congratulate all the Man City fans. You have been through enough to make this deserved. I hope you enjoy it for weeks to come. I hope you enjoy your parade. And I hope that we can challenge you even closer next season, and that you're tired of winning and then you finally throw a few games, or we can beat you in the Charity Shield. Who knows? But tonight is all about the huge achievement of Manchester City winning only the second English treble. Well done. I salute you. Now, after this, all that's left to talk about is the transfer window, which will be boring by comparison. Tonight was what football is really about. And it feels like a very long time till we get to start it all over again and try and hunt down glory like this ourselves. I will be covering all the transfers. Of course I will. Declan Rice will get talked about quite a bit, as will Gundogan probably. But tonight's not that night. So, until I see you again, be lucky and lots of love.